Hi, I'm Todd, and this is For Action Takers Only. Welcome. Tonight, I got Oscar Solis. I met Oscar at the Houston Power Hour. He is also a SubTo student, such as myself, and but met him at Houston Power Hour. He's a local guy, and man, he's always been a super positive, upbeat. Every time you see him, it's good to see him. So I wanted to hear his story and bring him on in. And so let's do that right now. Before I do, I'm going to say like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. We need the followers, we need the support. So on Spotify, on YouTube, check us out for Action Takers Only. Here's Oscar.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, Oscar?
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
All is well. I'm grateful to be here.
Always grateful. I always like hearing that too. I like
Yeah,
hearing
so
that.
I switch it up. I used to say I'm fantastic. So when they say how are you, I say I'm fantastic. Or I used to say like I'm ecstatic, or like switch it up instead of saying good or like the
Right.
normal. I like to
Yeah, the
switch it up.
normal. I'm good. I'm fine. It's good. All good.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Yeah.
So right
No,
now
you
it's
too.
gratitude.
Right. It's the perfect time for it too.
Yeah, agreed.
So, tell me about yourself, man. How did you how long have you been in SubTo?
I've been in sub 2 since March 17th of this year, 2023.
Okay. So you got in right before I did. You just a couple months before me.
Yeah. So it
So
was just the beginning of this year.
just the beginning of this year. And how did you run across SubTo and how long did it take you after running across it to join?
I came across it through social media. I saw Pace Morby's post or people posting and tagging Pace Morby, but I wasn't really looking too much at it. I would just bypass it until I saw more of it, and then I entertained it for a few more seconds since I was seeing it over and over again. And then I really resonated with Pace's message at the moment. Then I really liked how he promoted and carries himself and his brand. One thing was
Mhm.
a community that he talked about openly, and I really resonated with the community, like with what he was mentioning and what he was sharing. So that's the main reason why I signed up. It's mostly for the community, the course, and the education. I thought that was a byproduct, like a second win. But the first win was the community. So that's why I really joined, because I wanted to be in a place where many people are filtered out of taking real estate serious, and they took a stepping stone into invest into themselves with this course or community.
Right. So have you done any other courses or mentorships before this?
My first mentorship was with Cody Spurberg, the
Okay.
clever investor. That was
Yeah.
back in she's like 2019, probably a
Mhm.
few years ago, and that was my first course. I paid $500 for that course, and it was fully packaged, extremely valuable. It was just overwhelming because the advertisements that I saw of Clever Investor were a lot different than what the actual thing is. So he made it seem in his advertisements, just like many advertisers, right? Many businesses, they make it
Mhm.
seem different, like beautiful, quick and short, like if it's a quick result or quick return, which it kind of is with wholesaling, right? But at the same time, with the information that how he delivered it was a lot, and I felt overwhelmed. So like after a month or maybe like 2 to 3 months consistently, I stopped doing it because I was overwhelmed. I felt like I was unprepared. I had all the information, but it just felt like a big of a hurdle to jump and make it to the other side. But that was my own limits that I set for myself. If I had someone else, or if I just would push myself to the extra mile or extra step, I'll be able to, be consistent since 2019, right? But
Right.
because I limited myself, I stopped doing it. Then I also lost the login information for the clever investor. So
Okay.
that didn't help either, but I did get the experience, right, of doing it for 3 months. I did do bandit signs. I did get a Google Voice number, put it on the bandit signs. I placed it in different areas where it has the most traffic and where a lot of cars stop at the stop sign or at the stoplight for a long time. So like I
Mm-hmm.
did turn strategically, I just wasn't consistent. I gave up too soon. One
Okay.
feet away from gold. That's what I like to say.
So you didn't get a deal out of it?
No, no deal out of it. That's the other thing too, because I was looking for a quicker return or a quicker outcome, how it was
Mm-hmm.
advertised, and that's one of the reasons why I quit too. I was in it for the quick game or the short game instead of the long run.
Okay. So since you did that, and you have a little bit of experience coming in on subject too. I mean, I'm surprised you're saying you were overwhelmed by another one, but you were doing it alone. So that kind of makes sense because when I came into subject two, and even with the community though, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of information in subject two. I'm
Mhm.
brand new though, so I can understand the overwhelming being new. So
Yeah.
now you come into subject two. How are you feeling about it? How you like the community? How
Oh yeah.
explain the community to me?
I'm really enjoying it. I feel more comfortable because it's like my second chance with real estate, just with the bigger price ticket for the community or for the course, right? And it feels like I'm adapting pretty well with the community. I know I could do more. In the beginning, I was giving and delivering a lot for the community. I would upload videos and specifically only share it within the community. I wouldn't really
Hmm.
share it outside of Sub2. It was mostly for the Sub2 community members. And I posted videos of me knocking on doors or different ways to talk to sellers, the science of knocking on doors and talking to real estate agents. I posted a video of that too. So like I put myself out there in the beginning, and then I kind of slowed down because I wanted to create my own thing behind the scenes. And that's why I haven't uploaded or shared too much content how I used to when I first started coming into the community.
No. So you doing the project forward thing too, also in sub two that Pace did?
No, I was in the beginning only like by synchronicity. I started to do it on my own, and at the same time that's when Pace started to announce and promote it. So I was
Yeah.
doing a podcast back to back consistently, but then I stopped because I lost balance or I lost prioritizing things in order so I could do things everything in like effectively. So
Hmm.
that's what honestly happened. However, the podcast is still there. I still have people that I need to interview, and people are already lined up, but I just need to set a time and a date.
Right. You did some big ones.
Yeah, there was some heavy hitters there, and then some
Yeah.
I have some heavy hitters lined up as well. So
Do
like
you?
that's yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
You just reach
just
out to them
happened
by
so fast.
yourself?
Yeah, I reached out all by myself. You just
Yeah, that's
have
what
to. If you never ask, the answer is always no.
you're absolutely correct.
Mhm.
So, how old are you, man?
32, about to be 33.
32, about to be 33. So you're still pretty young. So what made you decide to pursue real estate? How long have you just, is this has been something you've been thinking about a while?
Yeah, well, the first book that I ever read about business or self improvement or anything of that subject was Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that's
Okay.
when I was about 11 or 10 years old. My uncle actually recommended that book for me to read. And my uncle, he rest in peace. He's already passed away, so may he rest in peace. And he was a genius and an entrepreneur. He knew how to build computers, he knew how to code, and he was also a businessman. So he was a combination of two different worlds, and he knew how to manage them well. So he recommended me that book. He's like, hey son, or like in Spanish, hey mijo, and then he'll
Mhm.
be like, this book is really good. It's a quick read. You'll get a lot of value from it. And I'm 10 or 11 years old. I'm like, this is a quick read. Like this is like 100+ page book as for a 10-year-old. But I would read it every now and then, like on and off. But he did plant that seed since I was little. And
That's
then
good.
yeah, and then fast forward like 10 years later, when I was 20, 21, I started looking into real estate, back into Robert Kiyosaki, reading his book all over again, being
Hmm.
introduced about real estate. And then I was entertaining it a little bit more. But when I took the first step of doing real estate with Clever Investor, it was when I was 25, I believe. I did start late, regardless of compared to when the seed was planted about real estate or business, right? It should have happened a lot sooner, but it is what it is. Then then I started applying it when I was 25. And the reason why I picked it is because of that. My uncle planted the seed and it's finally coming and it's blossoming, right? And now I'm being consistent. I've been consistent since I joined SubTo. I started slowly, but I've picked up the momentum, and we are definitely working and have a big team now. So it's pretty impressive how quick it has grown, but at the same time nerve-wracking because it could all go away within a day.
You're right. It's easy come, easy go on some things. So are you building? You're building the team, right? This is a team you're building.
Yeah, so it's a team of 13 people already.
All right, and y'all got together, coming together, and making it happen, huh?
Yeah, it just happened. The stars lined up and everything happened magically.
So what's your position in the team?
Well, that's kind of complex because we're JVing, right? One team is
Hmm.
called Dowie Investments, and
Okay.
that's a partners of four people: Doratel, me, Wade, and Yamil.
Okay.
So four people, right? But within that team of Dowie Investments, it's a total of seven people. So it went from one, and I connected the other three people, Doratel, Wade, and Yamil. I knew all of them, but they didn't know each other, and I connected all of them. We resonated, and now we're business partners. Now we expanded and hired, and it's commission only. We have three callers, so we
Hmm.
have three people besides us, so it's a total of seven. Then we JV with someone to operate and manage their cold calling or the cold callers and their acquisition manager. And they're called Homevest Property. So they allowed us to come into the picture and have like executive decision makings. I have that
Okay.
jurisdiction there, and we have huddles, we have SOPs within that operation now, and now it's operating with more organization and more clarity. So everyone kind of knows what they're doing. So now with that, we joint ventured with Homevest Properties and Ohana. So there's two LLCs that are working together, but they don't have time to manage the cold caller or the acquisition manager.
All right.
However, we stepped in and we helped them. So whenever they close a deal with their cold callers and the acquisition manager, because we were organizing and created a SOP and implemented it into their operations, we get 50-50 with their JV.
That's badass. So that's a good angle.
Yeah.
That's a that's a really good angle. So you're figuring it out.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody comes into this thinking, "Hey, I got to do it alone." It's not really an alone type deal, and I think that's why Pace started the whole. Actually, it is why he started. Somewhat part of the reason why he started the community. Did you ever hear the story why he started this community?
Yeah, I've heard it over and over again. He's a good storyteller.
Yeah, he is. So that was interesting. I did not know that. I just heard that story for the first time the other day. That he got pissed off at another uh, group or mentorship or whatever that they do a podcast and all that. So I won't mention names. He did
Mm.
on one of them. He did when he told the story the first time I heard it. He was
Yeah.
blasting them. So what are your goals with the team?
My goals is to help everyone elevate and improve 1% better every day so
All
they could
right.
become better individuals for their personal lives and their work life. That's
Mm-hmm.
number one goal. And then number two is to hit the KPIs and help them communicate and just be a better communicator and problem solver. So they don't have to depend on someone to answer a question or to look for a solution. They could do that themselves. So that's my second and third one. So hitting KPIs and making sure that they're able to become problem solvers and look for a solution instead of keep asking or seeking on their own and asking questions to themselves so they could be able to figure out the answer themselves and become better.
Right. So, how long did it take you to find a power hour after you joined SubTo?
It took me the same day, honestly. So when I joined, it was on a Friday. I know that for sure, and I think it was March 17th. I believe that
Okay.
was the Friday. And I joined during my lunch break. Then I went back to work. Then after work, I joined the nightly dial, which was on a Friday, and they
Mm-hmm.
call it on Fridays Freaky Fridays. So I joined that, and I did my first call on there as well, because they allow you. So nightly dial is all about beginners or newbies or people who just want to improve. They could be experienced. They get on there, they give them a contact info, just the phone number, the address, and the name, and you have to call them on the spot and talk to them and set up an appointment or see if you could close them or just have a stepping stone to get the contract locked up, right? And that's the whole goal. So I did that. I joined, raised my hand, volunteered to give my first call in front of like 100 people, or it was 80 to 100 people.
Wow.
And yeah, and I did my first call. Then they, after you do your call, whether it's your first or second or third, they do give you constructive criticism. They give you compliments on what you did right. Then they give you criticism on what could be better or what could be tweaked up a little bit just to improve. Then they move on to the next person to give a call and they rinse and repeat.
Okay.
And that's when I heard about Power Hour on that night. It was on the nightly dial, which is a Zoom, one of the Zoom meetings that like 1,000 of other Zoom meetings happen weekly with SubTo.
Right.
So so they mentioned Power Hour, and then I reached out to one of the people that was the organizer or that is the organizer of Power Hour, and his name is Jeremy. And I reached out to Jeremy, and he told me about it. I didn't go that next day because I went to go door knocking. So the very next day, I hit the doors with another SubTo member that was organizing a door knocking event, and that's why I didn't do Power Hour that day. But the following Saturday, I did go to Power Hour.
All right. So, who did you go door knocking with? Mark Mendoza?
Yeah, yeah. So Mark
Oh, okay.
Anthony.
Oh, Mark Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how did that go? How was the door? I was going to ask you about door knocking. Are you still doing any of that?
Not at the moment, but shout out to Mark Anthony for hosting those events. I don't know if he's still hosting them. I trust he is, or if he's not, he's gonna get back to it. And it's a great way to network with other people and put yourself out there. So, like, if you're a go-getter and you just want to apply and dive in heads in deep, go door knock with your local person or go to your power hour. And that's what I did. I just went to go door knock instead of do power hour because I resonated more with door knocking because I do have a background in door knocking.
Oh yeah.
However, yeah, yeah. So that's why I went to go door knock instead of the power hour. And then I went to power hour the next Saturday.
Okay. So, what's your background in door knocking?
I did door knocking for solar for about a year.
Okay.
Hmm.
And how is that? There's some guys. I sell drones, and there's guys that come in buying drones to do the surveys of the roof,
Hmm.
doing the solar. And some of them are saying that that's really good. It's not like real estate, but they say it's pretty good money right now.
Yeah, it's good money. It's a quick return.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just selling paper, just like real estate. You're not selling the solar panels, you're selling a loan. So you could pitch that the solar parts and everything that comes with it is free. You just have to pay for a solar fee. And like, they get away like the way how sales work. So
Yeah.
you're just really selling loans. You're not really selling solar itself. Now it
Right.
could work out depending on your circumstances, but it's not common or it's not a cookie cutter to have those type of perfect circumstances to get a good solar deal.
Okay. So you came into this then having some a little bit of sales and a
Mhm.
little bit since you did another program. So Cody was the only other program you've ever done.
Yes, it was his, and then SubTo. Then after
Then
SubTo, I invested in another community called Rainmakers, and it's part of Novation King. So he
Oh,
focuses on the niche of novations. And that's why I joined too, because I wanted to learn about novations. Pace talks about it, but he's not very specific in it. He has maybe
yeah.
like tops 5 to 10, maybe 10 videos. I'm being generous here, but I know he doesn't have more than 5 videos. But maybe he has more that I'm not aware of. But with this course or with this community, I haven't been too active, but I could be more active. But mostly they just focus on novation deals.
Novations.
Mhm.
So, and how did you run across this? How did you run across
Instagram.
Rain?
So just how I found out about Pace More being sub 2, same way how I found out about Novation King or the Rainmakers community.
Okay. And what
Mhm.
is a novation? Can you explain that?
Novation is when you come into an agreement with the seller and they don't want to go through an agent or a realtor for their own personal reasons. And then you come into an agreement that you want their house under a purchase agreement. Not only that, they're going to sign a limited power of attorney to you. And then they're also going to sign up in that purchase agreement that they give me permission to sell their house with the real estate agent on the market if I need to upload it on the market with the real estate agent, or I could sell it by myself, right? And they agree to that. So that's a novation deal. So like if a wholesale deal and the seller doesn't want to accept my offer of $200,000, they say
Mhm.
I want $270,000. So there's a $70,000 gap, right? And in order for me to execute and get this deal, I do a novation where I talk to the seller, ask them how come they don't upload it on the market or why don't they use a real estate agent. They give me their reason, hear them out, resonate with them. Then I ask them, hey, what if I could do all the work for you? And if I do have to hire or communicate with the agents, I'll do all the talking for you. You don't have to worry about that. All you have to do is sign this paper and focus on receiving your money at this time, at this timely manner, or at this exact time and date. And then
Okay.
depending how you word it, because there's a really great script with the Novation King, and it's really good. Like it's beautiful. And with that script, if you follow it to the T, add sincerity, add your character, your personality to it, you'll definitely lock up a deal. So if I can't lock it up at 200K, but they want 270, I ask them, okay, we'll sell your house at 270, but you have to give me permission to put your house on the market and use a agent to represent your house on the market.
Okay. So how do you make money in that deal selling it with an agent for more? How are you getting paid
Like,
on that?
so specifically, you're gonna charge, or you're gonna multiply the square footage by 85 cents on the dollar. So for a novation deal, normally for a wholesale deal, it should be like 0.53 to
Mm-hmm.
0.63, or pushing it at 0.75. But for an ovation deal, if it's a turnkey property or it doesn't need too much work or it's livable or it's light rehab, and you could definitely get at 0.85. Once you have it at 0.85, you deduct 30,000. 30,000 is the closing cost, the agent fees, and everything else. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why you deduct 30,000. So like if the ARV of this property was 370,000, right? We'll multiply that times 0.85 and then deduct 30,000, and that would be our cap for a novation offer.
Okay. That makes sense. So how you like the Rainmaker community? Is it anything like SubTo?
Yeah, they're pretty active in there. Just haven't been involved in both of them. I've been if I have been involved, it's mostly sub 2.
Yeah.
However, I do see they're both pretty active. They're both pretty helpful within each other. It's just a
Okay.
smaller community because
It is.
Novation just started. It's like sub 2 3 years ago, because
Okay.
so his follower, his movement is growing, his message, his brand is growing. So for sure, his course is gonna go up just like sub 2, and that's why I wanted to join too, because once it hits that point, I'll be able to see the growth and take notes if I ever want to create my own community or create my own brand.
Right. Well, badass. So, have you gotten any deals with that yet, though?
with the Novation course.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten any deals with the Novation course, but I do understand the concept.
Hmm.
And I know other people who do Novation deals. I see proof of concept continuously because I see people putting in work only for Novation deals. Right now, what we're focusing on is wholesale deals, but we have Novation in our back pocket or on our tool belt in case we need it. But we're not prioritizing Novation deals at the moment.
Okay. So I see here under your Dowie investments, you got connector and visionary operator. So
Mhm.
tell us about what is that? What is that stuff down there? Those are in SubTo. We call those avatars. So can you tell us about your avatars?
Yeah, so I have more than one avatar, just like everyone else. You could definitely have more than one. You don't have to identify with one or two. There you can have three or four or five. Some people have seven or more. And
Right.
the ones that I like to identify is connector and visionary. I really resonate with those two. It's naturally for me to connect with people or to connect other people and see if they're a good match or not. I'm not always right, but I'm most of the time right when connecting people or reading people. I could strengthen it so I could be right more of the time, right? Like if I just niche it down and focus. So that's why I pick connector. It's something natural in me, something I've developed and I continue to develop and strengthen. Visionary, I'm visionary since I think I was little, or maybe we're all born with it, honestly. And just some people tap into it more as they're younger and they get stronger with it as they get older, or some people tap into it once they get older and they have the resources and the circumstances to tap into it 100%. So visionary is something I resonate with, and I feel like I've always had. I've always had a vision about myself and where I'll be. It just hasn't been clear, but it's getting clear the older I get. So I think that's a good thing, and that's why I picked visionary, right? So these are the two avatars within the SubTo community, and they just represent who you are. You could be a
Mm.
visionary direct to seller, visionary direct to agents. That just means who you're focusing on with single family properties, right? I'm both direct to seller and direct to agent. I could have both conversations with those two individuals, two separate conversations, two separate intentions, but communication is the same.
Hmm.
So that's why I like visionary, because I could have put direct to seller, direct to agent, but I just like focusing on the base, on the base of it, connector and visionary. And then the operator, I operate things still to this day. So I'm like a de facto CEO, like, but I rather be known as a uh, director of operator, right? Or
Hmm.
COO, operator,
Chief
or
operating officer.
yeah, chief operating officer, because I rather be known as that instead of the face of the company or the brand or the owner. I rather be just behind the scenes. I'm not much of an integrator, but I do become an integrator if I need to get things done. So like
Hmm.
if I have to learn how to do something and I never learned like or don't know how to do anything with like tech savvy or computer stuff like that. I used to be when I was younger, but I forgot all about it, right?
Hmm.
It's like I could tell I'm getting older, right? It's pretty weird. But I do get things done. I do learn it. I YouTube it. I Google it. I chat GBT it. I do whatever it has to be done to learn it and fix it. If not, I delegate it to somebody else.
Okay. So what's your favorite thing to do so far? Do you like doing stuff on the computer? Do you like just you like connecting people? You like talking to people? You like being out there? Is there any other? Did you have any skill set like web design or anything like that that you utilize?
Mm,
Not just web. I mean, did you have anything else that you brought to the to this? You have your natural abilities because you're a good people. You're definitely good out there with people. Me, I've always been very introverted. So this has been a struggle. I've
mhm.
had to tell myself something. I got to get myself out there because for many years, at one point in life, I just stopped. I'm like, no, I'm just working and focusing on this. I go to work, I come home, and at my work, I didn't have much interaction with too many people. And at home, it was me and my son and my mom. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, what are your plans, man? What's going on? What's your daily routine like now?
My
Do you
daily
still got to
routine.
Yeah, do you still
Well,
got a W?
No, I don't got W-2. I do real estate full time.
Full time. All right.
Yeah. And the
So,
daily routine is I wake up early, clean the area where my sons played, my two sons, and then go downstairs, get ready, hit the gym, I swim, I hit the sauna, then I hit the steam room, then I swim. The reason why I do the sauna and the steam room is so my body could warm up and the water in the pool could be colder because it's already cold in the pool. But if my body warms up, I'll manipulate it to feel colder in the pool because I want it
mhm.
to be cold or colder. And that's what I do in the mornings. Then rinse, then I work out. I do calisthenics or a little bit of weights or a combination of both. Then once I'm done working out, I go to the office, do the morning huddle at 10, and then get things done for the company, like if we need to pull a list or if I need to listen to recordings or anything like that.
Okay. So let me ask you about before you got into real estate and business, did you think about mindset much?
Yeah, I've always been into mindset. I've always had that background. I read books. I was heavy on self-improvement. I went
Okay.
to self-improvement seminars. I flew to LA, to Toronto, to Mexico for like seminars,
Mhm.
self-improvement seminars. I've always been passionate about it. It's just sometimes I would just drift, like in Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Like
Right.
when you drift away from your goal, that's a bad thing. So I was drifting a lot. I was like on the path, but I would drift a lot. Right now, I'm still on the path, but I haven't drifted as much.
Okay. So did you go to college or anything?
I went to Houston Community College for a little bit, but I stopped going because I noticed it wasn't really bringing any value to me, or I wasn't applying college. I wasn't doing it. So I just decided to stop going, but I continued reading. So even if I stopped going, I told myself I have to do something with my life. So whether it's going to be outside of college, I have to force myself to read, make myself have homework or do things that's going to help me be better if I'm not going to depend on college.
All right. So you got a book you're reading right now?
Right now, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Yeah, I got that right back there. I got that book. That's an
Yeah.
awesome book. Yeah, I started reading it again, then stopped. Now I'm reading Spin Selling because Jeff Smith is always talking about that one, and I always see it in the background on his thing.
I have to look into that book.
Yeah, so far it's pretty good. I got into chapter 3. I slowed down this week. I hadn't had time. I gotta make time. Like, reading was not my strong point when I was young. It was not something I like to do. So
Mhm.
I like it a little better now that I'm older, but when I was young, it was terrible.
You just got to prioritize it. You don't have time, but you could prioritize it.
Right.
Minimize things that are not that important right now that you're doing and replace it with what you have to do.
Exactly. So all that your morning routine involved a lot of exercise and taking care of you, right? So does that help with your mindset? That gets your mindset right in the morning?
Yeah, 100% because your body is your temple, so it's like your vehicle, so you got to take care of your vehicle. Just like we
Right.
take our cars or our trucks to get oil change, to get work on the tires, switch the tires, do an alignment, focus on the oil for the brakes or whatever the case is. You have to do that for your body. Your
Yep.
body is your vehicle. And what's fueling it is the food, the water, what you consume, what you listen to, what you read. So that's fueling your own body.
Yeah. So since you're a visionary, where do you envision yourself, say 5 years, 10 years down the line?
That's a great question. Where do I visualize myself 5 years from today? All right. So 5 years, that would be December of 2028. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Eh,
visualize myself living outside of Texas, or if it's in Texas, it's gonna be somewhere like close to the mountains, somewhere way up there above sea level, and have a big one-story house where it's it's big as one story because we don't want two or three stories. We rather just want one big one story, and then
Yeah.
have a basement and just me and my family and being able to fly in back to Mexico as we like. So that's where I see myself. And then also the business is going to be running and operating by itself, of course. Hopefully by that time I already have exited the business or about to exit the business successfully because that is my plan to run it, operate it, then turn it into like just automate it completely, copy and paste it like 2 or 3 more times, bring it all together, fumble it up, glue it together, and then sell it and pass it and exit comfortably.
Why don't you leave it to your kids? Put it in the trust, leave it to the kids, have it still running itself in a trust.
That's possible. That
You'll
is
never know,
possible.
right? That's
Maybe just sell 50% of it and keep the other 50%.
yeah, something like that. How old? So you got two kids, two boys.
Yeah, two boys.
How old are they?
2 years and one just turned one, so 2 and 1.
Wow, you got your hands full.
Yeah, they're great. Like
Yeah.
the 1-year-old is already walking. He started walking right before he turned one.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty quick. So
Yeah,
are
it's
you married
exciting.
then?
Yeah, I'm married. I'm married.
Married, two kids, got the family going. Is your wife involved in this at all?
In real estate, she supports my decisions. She's a stay-at-home mom,
Stay at
but
home.
she also learns. She listens to Cody Sanchez and how to buy businesses and all that. So during the time when Pace was releasing or talking about zero down, that's
Mm-hmm.
during around the same time when what Jacqueline, my wife, was telling me about buying a business instead of buying a house. So when he
Okay.
was doing the zero down, I did the homework and made 50 friends, took 50 screenshots or had proof of 50 conversations with 50 different people and sent it in the email, then wrote a review on Reddit and then signed the NDA, right? And doing all of that gives you access to the zero down. So I did all that at the same time when she was telling me about buying businesses. So she does study, she is behind the scenes, but she's not as active full time like I am because I just focus on working and she just focused on being at home, working at the house,
Okay.
working as a mom because working as a mom is a 6-figure job or
Yeah.
more. Like there is no off times, there is no PTO times.
Not at all. I'm a single dad. It's difficult. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's time consuming.
Definitely is, man. So I applaud you on that, man. That's cool that she's talking about wanting to do businesses. I mean, so y'all in the same boat. Y'all can it really help, work with each other eventually on that. If she's gonna do that, would be awesome.
Yeah, most definitely. And she does do pop-ups every now and then. So
Okay.
she's a really good baker. She's very experienced,
All
very
right.
well versed in the kitchen, cooking and baking both. And she bakes every once in a while and she makes like batches of cookies, of breads, of pudding, whatever the case is. Goes does a pop-up and sells and sometimes or most of the time that we go out, I always go with her and she sells out most of the time. And then I did start helping her growing her Instagram because when people buy from us, I ask them if they could follow us or I tell them you get a free cookie or a free drink if you follow us and you like 3 of our posts. And then I have to see them follow her account and like 3 of her posts.
All right. So you got the whole family in the entrepreneurship thing.
Most definitely.
Most definitely, you're gonna raise your boys and teach them about that too. Make
Yeah,
them make sure they,
they're gonna door knock as soon as they could knock on doors and talk. If they as soon as they could walk and talk and think for themselves, think on their feet.
you can play Nintendo. You can get out there and knock on doors.
Just like you took your son to Power Hour, I'm gonna take my son to knock on doors.
Oh yeah, that was fun. And then the second time I took him, though, it scared the shit. He got on a call and it scared him, and he hasn't wanted to really go back since. I'm gonna drag him. I told him this Saturday I'm dragging his ass there.
Yeah,
Yeah, told him you
yeah,
gotta go.
yeah. It's good to get them out early because they're able to master it sooner than us once they pick it up.
Well, they
at a
pick up things easy. It's just like nothing at that
yeah,
age, or you can toss things to them that they can, and they have no real interest, but they'll pick it up like that. So that's, I'm
yeah,
just trying. Hey, man, I'm trying to tell them if you can pick up something to where you work for yourself and don't have to work for somebody else, you'll have a much better life. He sees how dad had to work real hard for many years, and I worked 10 and 12 hours being a single parent, not there with them a whole lot. I missed a whole
yeah.
lot. So having to have my mom his other grandmother take care of him while I have to be at work, and that's just no way to do it. So, you say you talked about starting real estate late. I started at 52. So,
You're
I had
52. You don't look 52.
yeah, 52, coming up on 53 real quick. It's coming
Wow.
real fast. Trying
I
to
thought
hit the
you were
brakes.
younger. I thought you were at least in your early 40s.
Yeah, most people do. So I got that for me. I don't look it, but yeah, I know my age. So
Are
yeah,
you
it,
feeling it?
huh?
Are you feeling it?
Sometimes, not too much yet. Sometimes I get some weird pains, let's put it that way, and have some little issues, yeah. But it's life.
Yeah.
But it's not about me, it's about you right now. We're talking about you. So, Oscar, Power Hour. Are you gonna go? You still go?
I go sometimes, not as much as I used to in the beginning.
Yeah.
I go when I can because now that we have a team, we just go together where we need to go or we work on. Because sometimes we have to prioritize things over others and we just have to put extra time, extra effort. So that's when we can go to Power Hour. But if we can, we go most of the time as a group, as a team.
Okay. So your team, what kind of stuff are y'all looking to buy? What's your buy box?
Our buy box is anywhere 200K or above for single family, anywhere that's 45 to 60 minutes from downtown of any city, San Antonio, Austin, Houston. And as long as the numbers work or the property is distressed and the seller is motivated, or if there's a problem that we could fix with our resources, that's our typical buy box.
Okay. So are you doing what kind of deals are you looking to do mostly? Are you wholesaling? Are you fixing, flipping? Are you buying and holding?
So my vision is the way I have things worked out is wholesale 5 properties, the 6 1 buy and hold, wholesale 5 properties, 6 buy and hold. Right now, we almost bought and hold 1 property because it was an exception. It was in the Heights. It's a really great location. We were going to do the Morby method. We were so close in executing the Morby method. However, the seller didn't want to do 0% interest or a 2% interest. He wanted to charge 5. So we told him that we're not your buyer because it's 5% is too high, especially for the Morby method. So we
Yeah.
told them it was good talking, good, good getting this far, but we have to depart ways and we'll just follow up and we'll see how everything's going.
Have you followed up?
Well, that just happened today, so I would have to follow up within the next week or 2 weeks.
Okay. Have another conversation with him. At least he's still having conversations. That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
You're still
that's a lot. That's something that we're prioritizing it because everything that you're hearing from me, like the team of 13 people, how we're all working together, that's all new, and we're prioritizing different things. So right now we're prioritizing follow up, where we're gonna focus a lot on follow up because we've been pulling new lists back to back, and now we're just gonna focus on follow up. So we're learning to pivot and work together, be in a rhythm, so we could all know our strengths and our weaknesses and move accordingly.
okay. So on the teams, is it would you teamed up with other people? Well, you teamed up with other teams. They all kind of came together. Does each have an individual role? Do you have people like just doing the dispo and stuff like that, or hey, yeah,
Yeah, so everyone has a role. Everyone, there's groups. So we have our co caller, then we have our acquisition manager, then we have our follow up caller, then we have an integrator, right? So we do have different positions.
so you got it all mapped out.
We're figuring it out as we go. So we just started. We do have an idea. It's pretty clear. However, I want it to get vivid clear, right?
Right.
Like extra clear.
Right. And we do got some good examples going on here in Houston with some teams.
Oh yeah.
So I can see. I've been thinking about who's that. I joined. I joined one, and then I joined. I just joined up with the Muds too to start learning the multifamily. I
Oh,
want to do the.
Joseph Madden, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I trust it's gonna work out and it's gonna be good because it looks like both of them, Joseph Mudd and his wife, they have everything pretty organized and pretty structured. So that's
Very
something I
organized.
admire about them. Yeah, very
Yeah,
organized.
they are. I'm very impressed. I just like, wow, you guys, they really got it going on. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I had Joseph on my podcast.
I know.
Uh,
So I saw that, and because I saw that interview, I was like, oh man, I got to get him on my podcast.
yeah, you have to become on my podcast the
You
next
let
time.
me know when. I'll do it. I'm behind you 100%.
I'll shoot you the message,
All
and maybe
right,
we
just
could do it in person because we're both in Houston. So
right. That would be cool. I just don't have a. This is a little room. I would like to do it. I
I have a
interviewed.
room. I have a somewhere in mind where we could go, where there's
Okay,
spaces where you could sit, and they have the microphone exactly the way you have it.
right. Having them all set up. I have all the stuff. I can bring this too. And like I was trying to tell Jeff and them, hey, maybe on Saturdays I'll bring my setup and we have a little. They can have a little bit better podcast there. But I got a little stuff behind me now, so to
Yeah,
make it a better deal. So
that's
you
exciting.
need
Well, I'm
you need
sure
to
it will
keep
work out.
you need to keep yours up though. Get back on it.
Yeah, I will. I'll
Yeah,
step it back up.
it's a great networking tool. And the other thing I'm learning is with that in the group, that's a great way to people to find out who you really are.
Mm,
Okay, hey, okay, I'm Oscar. Okay, well, you tell them about your group, and they go and they find out. Well, he's doing this. He's got a podcast. He's got this. This guy's legit, man. I
mhm,
want to work with this guy. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about how they're using it in that aspect. So,
mhm. Yeah,
so,
so
so
yeah, I'm
huh?
definitely gonna get back to it. I'll definitely get back to it.
Yeah, definitely got to.
Agreed, agreed. And are you doing the 12-day challenge with Pace Morby?
Yeah, I did. I got in on that, and that's all. I'm sorry I didn't get to answer your question because right after I answered the last time, I jumped right in there and listened to it. It's just they're doing an hour long podcast every night. It's a different speaker every night. I think tomorrow night is Lance Riggin, and I'm going to have him on an interview on January 6th.
Mm,
So
that's exciting.
yeah. Tonight it was a multifamily, another person, and they're talking like all the stuff. A lot of what they were talking about was what I've already heard with Joseph Mudd in their videos. KJ
Yeah.
and Joseph. They have great information. Yeah, they do. So I'm looking forward to that. So, are you looking at any multifamily, or are you gonna try and do that? Since you got into zero down, are you gonna try and focus in on any of
Yeah,
that, or are
so
you staying focused on the homes?
I do focus on multifamily. I do not shy away from it. I do entertain it. I watch videos about it, especially if Pace has it in the Zoom Vault. I definitely look at it how you could use the Morby method to buy multifamily.
Hmm.
Like that's so when I was watching the Morby method in the Zoom Vault, one of the key things that they were talking about is buying multifamily, buying over 8 units or more without using your own money. You use other people's money. And you can
Hmm.
use the Morby method to complete the full $6 million purchase for 8 unit property, right?
Right.
So that's definitely helpful and it's very simple. It sounds complex, but once you really open up your mind and just focus on the message, it is clear as the sky and it sounds applicable. So we were close to doing a Morby method with the duplex. It's the
Mm,
same thing. The only difference is just more doors. Instead of 2 doors, it's 4, 8, 10, or 12 doors and more money. But the money is if we feel uncomfortable, the higher the digit, it's because it's of our subconscious beliefs and the story that we tell ourselves. Right. So that's the only difference. It's just the number, the figure, and the doors. That's it. More doors, higher figures, period. But the execution is the same when it comes to Morby method and multifamily.
okay. So have you sat in any of the zero down zooms yet?
I watched like the first one. I watch
Right.
it on the go because they're pretty long and they're pretty detailed. So because like that's part of the what's the word? The the shiny object syndrome, because like it takes you away from real estate. Unless you have the real estate automated and it's making you money already, then you could focus on zero down, right?
Right.
But if you want to focus on active income and focus on one thing only and getting better at that one thing, then you have to pick wisely. You have to pick one. Like if you could do both, that's because you're delegating a few things from another person and coming together to work with two or more things.
All right. So that's good. I see you staying focused and you're doing good. So me, I've been all over the place. I like, I mean, I've done not too bad, but I've been changing my mind a lot. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I keep cold calling, but I'm getting freaking tired of it.
Yeah. Do you use a dialer?
Yeah, I do. I got on one team and I use a dialer, but I focused on well, this is probably one mistake I made. I focused on just foreclosures because I was Carolyn Kane. And I boy, those will wear you out, especially with the answer rate. And they always say the same thing. It's like I'm either taking care of it or fuck off. I mean, they don't want to talk to you half the time.
Yeah.
And you do get them talking. Okay, the ones that want to sell, it's usually right up there at the last minute, and the couple I've had is just like there's no way we can buy it. They're too bad a shape or too, they want, it's just not going to work,
Yeah.
so I don't know, that was kind of frustrating, but you know it's the way it goes. I get the shiny object syndrome. I haven't gotten a deal yet, but I'm not really worried about it. This started taking off a little more, the group in this, so I've been focusing just more on trying to be maybe a connector and then networking.
Oh yeah, and connecting and networking is it's really easy. That could just happen naturally. It may not be your intention if you're at Starbucks or a coffee shop and getting a drink for you like before you go into the work, right? You just casually talk to someone, someone, then you introduce that person to someone that you just connected them. So it just happens. It could happen natural every day, right? Once you
Right.
get that good and you build enough momentum.
Like I said too, though, for a while I was a hermit, so I became, I didn't talk to people much. So I'm having to force myself to get out there, and then I got into drone sales, so I got to talk to people now. So I forced myself to get out there and talk to people. Today I met a real estate agent from College Station. Came in, brought his drone, or he was picking up his drone for repair, and I was like, "Hey man, so what do you do with that drone?" And he's like, "Oh, I do this." I'm like, "Oh, so you just take? Are you a real estate agent?" "Oh yeah." So we got into a conversation and then started talking. Well, hey, what kind of
Mhm.
multifamily you got up there? So I'm gonna send him the buy box and say, "Hey, if you got any of this
Yeah,
stuff, give me a shout. We got buyers. We can help you out."
that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, networking. So get that connector networking going. You got that. You got a good with that. I know that you can.
I'm
You're good
improving.
with. You're improving. What do you think? You were a hermit or what? Or were you an introvert? Did you ever
Yeah,
consider yourself an introvert?
yeah, I'm an ambivert for sure. So
An
I'm both.
ambivert?
Yeah, ambivert is
Okay.
both introvert and extrovert.
And well, maybe that's me. I don't know. I don't try. I was in for a long time. I just didn't focus on outward stuff. It was all I got to
I would
focus
have,
on.
I would have never guessed that you're an introvert. I thought you were extrovert the whole time.
You think so? I put
Yeah,
on a good facade because I was a musician. But the thing was is that always like doing this stuff, and I get real nervous at the start, even doing these interviews. But when I played guitar and getting on stage and played in bands, oh, it was horrible. I wanted to quit every show. I want to quit right before the show. I want to quit, go home, and screw this. I don't want to do this. I don't
yeah,
know why I ever became a musician.
yeah,
It was because that's what my friends did. So
yeah.
I think I was a follower when I was more of a follower when I was younger. So enough about me. You keep turning it around. I'm on. So, what are your? Tell me about Dowie Investments. We're getting close to an hour. Tell me about Dowie Investments. Do you have a website? Do you have? I need all
Yeah.
your. I'm going to need.
So yeah, this is what's really exciting. So we have the website fully ineffective effect dowieinvestments.com. You could do www.dowieinvestments.com or dowieinvestments.com. Our email, phone number, everything's on there. And then also you could find the Instagram Dowie.investments. There is a YouTube channel, but it's not Dowie Investments. It's just my personal YouTube channel where my podcast is. And that's
Okay.
called IMI the World. So you could just YouTube IMI the World. IMI is the acronym for Inspire, Motivate, Innovate the World. So I put some effort and thought into that, right? And that's why I
Mhm.
called it IMI the World. And it's something I started a while back, and I'm still gonna continue because thinking about it, all the videos I've uploaded are gonna be there until for who knows how long until they
Mhm.
cancel it or I take them down. I trust that it'll work out to the point where both of my sons could see back in the videos in YouTube like how young and how hungry my journey of everything that I was experiencing, right? So like it's pretty cool seeing that as highlights, visual highlights of my journey and my story that my sons could look back and be like, wow, that was my dad. Like he was recording himself, editing this, uploading it. Like it's exciting. So that's my YouTube channel, IMI the World.
Cool, cool. Make sure I'll put all that stuff in the description too. So make sure you send that to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you for sure.
Yeah,
And I'm
email your
grateful that you
info.
allowed me. I'm grateful that you allowed me to come on your platform and share your space. So thank you, Todd. I really am grateful for you. And I
Man, I'm
trust that everything is working out for you too in your real estate journey. Just so you know, the definition of success is not what you think it is, or I'm sure you already know the original meaning. The meaning is success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
okay.
Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So if you're progressing towards a worthy ideal that you have envisioned and you're progressing towards it, you're already successful. So success is more of a journey instead of a destination.
Right. Thank you for that. And I'm grateful for you being on, man. I do very much appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Of
And
course, I'd love to
always
do this again 6 months from today or
definitely
12
will.
and ask me the same questions and see if I have the same answers or see the growth that I've done. And same thing with you. I'll have you on my podcast very soon. And then I'll have you again 6 months from that date that I had you on, or
All
12
right.
months to measure the growth.
Bet. It's on.
Let's do it. I look forward to it.
Hell yeah. I'm all for it, man. So you just let me know. I always enjoy seeing you whenever I get to see you, man. So it's been
Yeah.
what the last time was at the Pace event, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That
That was a fun event. It was
was
so
a
great.
great. Yeah. That was
I,
it was.
it was, it
I
was,
love yeah, I love those things, man. I don't know. It's the first time it's like I found a group of people I really enjoy being around, you know.
yeah, it's a great, great, great community.
It is. It is. It's awesome. And it's been good meeting you and talking with you. And we'll do definitely more. I'm going Power Hour Saturday, so hope to see you there.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Todd. Appreciate you. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in. And if you do go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you could be notified. Same thing with Todd. If you haven't subscribed to Todd's channel, hit his subscribe button and hit the notification bell because it is mandatory to hit the notification bell.
Yes, definitely. You go support Dowie Investments. We all need it. Go support it, man. It's great. Great, good stuff. Take it
Awesome.
easy. All right,
All right.
man. Hang out for a minute because this is gonna have to download.
Okay.